Hey, this is Crazy Uncle Jay. So my voice is like dying right now. I haven't been speaking for a while. I haven't spoken at all today because I was actually like planning to wake up today at like 3. Then I slept until 8. Like I had an alarm on for 3. Then I slept until 8, and then since then I've just been like having like a bit to eat, etc. And also I was like planning to do this video a bit earlier, but then I was like, well, I should probably uh, just turn off my computer and turn it on again so that it works the best. But anyways, this came out like a bit ago. Yeah, on Monday, so like about a week. Sorry about that, but I had like a video that I posted on the 1st, so I'm thinking I'll post this maybe on the 9th or something. So sorry that's gonna be so long into the future, but I think it's gonna be like for this week anyways. So I'm a little unsure though, but I think so because I think this one was like this week's update was like in the last one. I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of looks like, this is going to be like the Rainbow Festival, and I kind of feel like that's just going to be like, starting with that. I don't know though, but like, hmm um, yeah, and I kind of thought it was like really long for the last one. So, like I think it was, like just, okay, so this is going to be, all of June. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so I slept through an alarm, slept for like 5 more hours, and yeah, now it's been 2.5 hours of me pretty much just not doing anything. It's just my computer was like, being really slow, and I was like trying to like save everything in case something would happen. But anyways, let's go. Right. Next up in Jorvik, May 29th, 2023. We have some amazing content coming up for you guys over the next 4 weeks. Take a sneak peek at the exciting things on their way to Jorvik. Yeah, June 7th. So exactly as I said, it's gonna like start with the Rainbow, Festival next week. And just gonna be June then. Rainbow horses in the sky. It is time for a rainbow festival. Mika has landed her hot air balloon beside Doyle's Abbey, ready to take you to Cloud Kingdom. There you will find beautiful rainbow horses, designs inspired by players. Oh, that's so cool. Unfortunately, it appears that Katja has returned and stolen all the colors again. Not again. And I mean, like, such a hater though. Like, because like it's like supposed to be like pride and stuff. So, and it's just like, damn, girl, you stealing the pride. Ugh. Like, it's just like pride is like something that anyone can like attend if they like to. Even people that aren't queer. And it's just like, I mean, there's been like so much now of people just being like, oh no, we don't want pride. Like, not just this year, but like every year. And it's just like, I feel like it may be, like, sure, it is some people that just, like hate everything queer and stuff. So it should, like, some people are haters. But I feel like some people might just be like, that they feel like, oh, I want this to be about me too. And like, I want every day to be about me. And oh, I'm not like, the main attraction right now. So I feel like it's maybe some people feel like, they're left out or something. And maybe they, like just missed the point that we have pride because, queer people don't, have a day where they get celebrated and where it's like highlighted that queer people exist and it's okay to be queer and also like just celebrating that like we've come as far as we have and that queer people have gotten a lot more rights than they at some point did. I mean, like, being gay was illegal at some point and well still is in a lot of countries, so it's just like kind of celebrating that it is not illegal right here anymore. And also that things have come further. There's a lot more acceptance these days in a lot of places. Still, like some places it's not so good, but it's also like, being hopeful for the future that, things are going forward and, things are getting better. So, yeah, so Pride is like a little bit of, things can get better, and that it's okay to be you no matter what or who you are. And I understand that some people might, like be like, well, but I'm not queer, so I don't feel like, I belong here or whatnot. And it's just like, sure, like Pride is for, queer people, but it isn't so that someone who isn't queer can't join if they'd like to. So you can always like, join the celebration and, sure, it isn't like, specifically for you if you're not queer. Um, because like, if you're not queer, then like you're not being oppressed for, like your gender, um, or gender type, I guess, or, your sexuality. Like if you're straight and cis, you've never been oppressed for, being straight and cis. Cis just meaning that you're not trans, straight meaning that you're not gay, etc. Like, so yeah, so it's just like, you've never been oppressed for being these two things. And so, like you should be happy that you don't need pride, that you don't need, um, yeah, that you don't need pride. You should be happy that you don't need it. And of course, you can also, like, come along and, have a fun time, with, like, the pride event. Like, that's for everyone. So you can, like, join if you, even if you're not queer. It's just, this is, to show that it's okay to be you, and that goes like regardless of what you are, who you are, and just celebrating, love and that things goes forward and things get better. So yeah, so it's just like celebrating that things will be okay. um, hmm And Pride actually started as like riots, and like well, I don't want to be oppressed anymore. Like I'm gonna fight back. So yeah, look up the Stonewall riots, and that's like the start of Pride. And it was just like, okay, fighting back against people treating us horribly. Yeah, so it's just like, I am not taking it anymore. I'm not going to be treated horribly anymore because, it's okay to be yourself. But anyways, where did I get to? Yeah, so it kind of feels a little bit like if she's like, oh, I don't like this pride stuff. But it doesn't seem like she's like, anti-queer or whatnot. It just seems like she's like maybe a little sad or something, and it's like maybe like just misunderstood, I guess. So, yeah. So you will once again have to help restore the colors and the kingdom to its former glory. And I mean, like, I hope that, like, at the end of this, like, quest line that we will get Katja to join us and be like, well, you can also be a part of, like, the celebration, and anyone can join. It's like, mm-hmm. Um, so yeah, that would be so funny if it would just, like, end with, like, you could join too, like, it's for everyone. So, yeah, like, and just, like, just, celebrate, being you, and that being you is okay, no matter, who or what you are. So just, join the celebrations, have fun, and just have a good time, you know? It's really just have a good time, be kind, and, feel loved, feel the love. Once all of the colors are restored, you can enjoy the magic of the Rainbow Festival in the Cloud Kingdom in Jorvik. Mika always manages to lose her items. Luckily, Pico is up to help you find them. Race with Katja and Mortifa, June 14th. It will not be easy to tackle Katja during the Rainbow Festival, and she doesn't give up so easily. She will have new challengers for you to tackle. Keep your eyes sharp. The road will be tricky, and you don't often see ice in Fort Pinto. But I mean, like, I kind of like also that it's like a little bit of ice in the summer because I mean, yeah, I like it to be a little bit colder. Like I'm missing the winter when it's summer because I mean, my favorite season is actually fall, and then winter, and then spring, and then summer. I'm like celebrating that the summer is over when fall comes around because I just don't like the heat and I don't like, bright lights, which, the sun is like both of those. I don't like the sun too much. So it's just like, I like that it's a little icy. Like, yeah, so we can take some ice. Just don't steal the colors, like ice is fine, but don't steal my colors, please. Rainbow Festival feels a little extra this year and wishes to be around longer than usual. It will be around for 4 weeks instead of 2. So no stress to run after rainbows, gathering summer tokens, and run the rainbow race. I love that, like, the Rainbow Festival feels a little extra this year. And also, there was this, like, pride shooting where I live, Norway, which is, like, the neighboring country to Sweden, last year. So there was no pride in real life where I live, in the town I live in, which is the capital. So, I mean, there was kind of a parade, but that was, like, people just, like, being like, well, the cops told us that it's not safe, so you shouldn't do it. But some people were just like, you know what? You're telling me to stay home because there are some people, shooting people and being horrible, and I'm not having any of that. Like going back to the roots of like, you know what? I have a right to be me and, to just live. Um, so yeah. So I mean, loving it, and I was like planning to go, but then like it was like kind of got canceled. So like the official thing got canceled, and I was gonna like just watch it though, and not like join the parade and stuff. So yeah, but it was also like super warm, I think. So I was like, ugh, I need Pride to be colder. I need some ice, Kacha, please. Come on, give us some ice. Um, but yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with this and stuff, and like it being a little extra and stuff. It could be that it's just like, we feel like it should be around for longer. Maybe it needs to be around for a little longer. And also, there's been like a lot of, hate and stuff lately, especially for like trans people, and a lot of, like in a lot of places in the world where people have, attempted to or actually taken away rights from trans people. Like I don't know, I think maybe Olympics or something, some kind of like, high up there, like, high level sports thing has now banned trans women from being able to compete if they've gone through male puberty, which I mean, sure, some trans people are able to start blockers, but not everyone is like able to even come out that early and be able to live as themselves that early. Not everyone knows that they're trans at you know an age that would be early enough to start blockers and not have any changes happening from puberty. So it's just like, and also some people like are now grown up and like miss that because it's been like yeah. And also, some people aren't able to come out and be safe until they're adults. So it's just like, if you're lucky enough to come out super early and, be able to live as yourself and be accepted, um, and you're able to get blockers, then you can, like, as a trans woman, compete. And if not, which is just like there's so many things that need to fall into place. And also, like there's so many people right now trying to make it so that people can't get blockers, that people can't get any treatment. So it's just like you're just trying to make it so that trans people can't live. And you're trying to pretend as if you're the good guys. And I've been talking to so many people that just like tries to like, legitimize their, like opinions about that trans people shouldn't be able to get the help they need, and it's just I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, I mean, in a way, I kind of do, because they are probably just doing it because they think that what I'm doing is, helping people, and or they just hate trans people and don't want anyone to be trans. So it's like if they don't get treatment, they're not going to be trans because they're going to be dead instead or whatnot, which some will be. Um, I don't think it's like, if they don't get the treatment, they're gonna be dead. I think that it's like if they don't get the treatment, if they're not allowed to be trans, they're not going to be trans. They're just gonna be cis instead, which is just like, I'm sorry, but like that's not how it works ever. And I mean, so many queer people have tried to not be queer, and it's not gonna be ever successful because it's just like you can't change who you are. You know, like you're you. You're not gonna be someone else. That's just not possible. So, yeah, and I was like literally saying to someone, okay, so you're saying that people should not be able to get the help they need. And the person just still goes with, nope. And it's just like, it's so awful, you know, because people should be able to get the help they need, no matter what help they need. You know, like if you got cancer and you need like chemo for it, you should be able to get it. If you got cancer and you need surgery for it, you know, like to cure it, then you should be able to get that. If you need, you know, like painkillers, you should be able to get painkillers. If you need trans treatment, you should be able to get it. And it's all about, you know, that the possibility should be there, you know, that it should be possible to be able to access treatment when you need it. You know, it's not about that everyone should be forced to get treatment. Of course not, because, you know, forcing people to get something they don't want and or need, both, you know, like that they don't want and don't need, that's bad, you know? And I have so many people like accusing me of being, you know, the worst person ever, and that, you know, like, oh, you just want everyone to, you know, like transition and be trans. And it's just like, no, I just want people to be happy. No, literally, I just want people to be happy. And, you know, like, I want people to be able to get whatever, you know, like, makes them happy. You know, like, if you being called Bob makes you happy, like, okay, why would we not call you Bob? Like, why in the heck would we not do everything we can to make people happy? You know, like, why would we go out of our way to make people miserable when it's just, like, so easy to just make them happy? You know, like, it doesn't cost you anything to just be kind. And yet, you know, like, you go so out of your way to be cruel, and it's just, I don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me why you would go out of your way to be cruel. You know, it's just, and I can understand, you know, like, sometimes, okay, you know, like, maybe you, like, misheard their name, so you call them, you know, James instead of, I don't know, Jamie. Eh, I don't know. Or, you know, like you think they use some pronouns and then they use some other pronouns, but it's just like most people are gonna then just correct you if you use the wrong name or pronouns and be like, well, yeah, that's not quite it. Like if you call me, I can't think of one name, Alex, you know, then I'm gonna be like, well, that's not my name, and then my name is Jace, you know, because that's my name. So, you know, like, it's just, of course, it gets annoying when it happens a lot. And, you know, like, some people might, you know, like, not be the most patient, but it's like, if it just happens once, then not just like once from every single person on the planet, but like once in total, just for one person, you know, once, nobody's gonna have like a problem with it. Or, you know, some people probably, but you know, like everyone can get over that. But when it just happens, you know, like time and time again, and especially when people, you know, like go out of their way to do it, like you've told them so many times, you know, like that, oh, I use he pronouns, you know, he, him probably is like better, but oh my gosh, I'm old too old for this stuff. But you know, like if you told someone I use he, him pronouns and they continue using some other pronouns, it's just like at some point, it's like, you know, you're not even trying, you know? Because it's like one thing is, you know, like getting it wrong, like once, maybe because you didn't know what pronouns they used. Or, you know, like you're actually trying, but you mess up sometimes. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. But another thing is, you know, like not trying at all, or, you know, going out of your way to be just vicious, you know? Like not trying is, you know, like being told, like saying she, and then being corrected, and you know the person tells you, okay, I use he, him pronouns, not she, her, and the person, you know, like just ignoring that and going with she again, and it's just like the least you can do is be like, you know, okay, noted, you know, like when someone corrects you, just, you know, like be like, okay, didn't know that, sorry, gonna, you know, do better. Um, And then, like, actually be like, okay, sorry, like, best thing you can do. Like, just then say, repeat it out to the person to remember that this is the right one. This is it. And maybe also, like, practice at home. Like, or when you're not with that person, like, just practice that, like, okay, this person here, he is cool. I like the color of his eyes, whatever. Um, just practice, practice makes perfect. Um, so yeah. And I mean, like, some people are like, uh, like, it's just like, I saw this thing, like, I don't know if it was on YouTube or Snapchat, but whatever. It was like this, like, this is a guy. Like, the one person saying, this is a guy, and the other person being like, yeah. And just like, it's a he. Yeah. This guy is handsome. Sure he is. And then just like, he's trans. Oh yeah, right, she is like the most beautiful woman ever. She's definitely not a guy. It's just like, you were just saying that this is a guy. And then it's just like, when you learn that the person is trans, you go on to like misgender them. It's like, and I could understand maybe some people like me getting a bit confused and being like, then maybe thinking, oh, okay, so it's like, a trans woman. uh, maybe like, but some people are like, just trying to be vicious and like, they're using the right pronoun, and everything, and then like they learn that you're trans, and then okay, then I'm gonna misgender you, like. So annoying. But yeah, I mean, and I know that it's just like a small minority that are, like, cruel, but oof, being on Twitter, mm, it's like a breeding ground for hate, I feel, these days. So yeah, I come across like all of those, and it's like, I know that it's this really small minority, but it sometimes feels like the majority because it's like pretty much everyone I come across on Twitter, yeah, that kind of stuff. Um, and it's just like they don't care for, facts or truths or anything. And it's just like they will say literally anything. And as long as it just like aligns with their beliefs, it's okay. And I've literally had people just like tell me just you're incorrect and then not explain why or give me any proof of it. And it's just like I've literally proven that what I'm saying is correct and they still just go with nah. Oh, oh. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's like a phenomenon of like, you can literally like give people proof of stuff, and then they still just go with nah. Oh, I think that's like has a specific name. I just don't remember it right now. But yeah. Oof. Anyways, new you. Cool. Updated character release. June 20th. This will be a historic day in many ways. Our very first update is on a Tuesday. Tuesday? What? What? And it will be the new player character release. From now on, you'll have many more options when you customize your character, choosing between faces, eyes, skin tones, body types, and more. Head to any salon or home stable for the new customization alternatives. On a Tuesday. I don't like that. I want it to be Wednesday again. Ugh. But I mean, like, maybe it's like just. I don't know. I hope they don't keep on doing it on, like. No, the next one is a Wednesday, so. Hmm. New race and paddle props in Dundle, June 28th. The Jorvik Ranger Lewis got a taste of hosting a race. He wants to expand what he offers in Dundle's paddock, so he has added a second equestrian race. And you can also find paddock props, magical horse rotation, Talina, and Campos. Yeah, so it's like hashtag next up in Jorvik. What's the third one? Oh yeah, it's like new character thingy. I was like, that looks a little weird. But yeah. So yeah, so we're gonna have, Rainbow Festival and then like, um a new race at the end. Um Updated characters and yeah, it's just Rainbow Festival. So oh yeah, right. I was like, but that's not a part of this, so yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And then I also wanted to say something else at the end of this video, and it's probably going to be a bit long one, but right now I only have one more video that is like done and everything, and I was actually thinking of posting that on the 9th of June, but yeah, so but then I was like, well, I don't really have any more videos, and I don't really like have the time right now to be like editing videos with like music, and yeah, um, so I was thinking of, and I was also thinking of like maybe just doing the next up in Jorvik videos for like the summer, and then I'll see like what I'll do after the summer. Um, because I was thinking of like trying to make a game or a few games in Roblox. I've already worked on some ideas, and I was thinking of like trying it out first, just like seeing how things work and everything. Um, and of course, that's gonna take a lot of like time and effort and stuff to make a game. Uh, so yeah, and also it's like a lot of things happening kind of right now, because I don't know if you know this, but if you've been on my channel like before, you might know this. I'm typically like not seasonally, but kind of seasonally like busy. Is like because it's just like between the 14th of December and 9th of January, it's like birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, and this you probably like have seen that I'm, like it's just, or I don't know. I'm trying to, like still be like posting and stuff, but yeah, so I'm like typically available, like really busy around Christmas and stuff and New Year's, because like, so much happening. And then we have also between the 9th and 21st of June that I'm typically pretty busy because of like birthdays there too. Because of birthdays in like January and December too as well. So, so I'm like, busy around like New Year's and around like, well, June pretty much. And then it's like the Pride Parade at like the end of June slash beginning of July. So it's like, yeah, pretty much, like all of June, I'm pretty busy. Um, so yeah. So it's just like, I'm busy around, New Year's and then June. Um, so so I'm going to be like a little busy now. Um, for a while, like I'm not busy like right now, but like there will be a lot. And I was like just gone and just like not really busy, but just like I was away like I think between the 15th until the like 25th, I guess, of May. So it was just like just gone for like 10 days. Um yeah. And then like so it's just gone and being busy, and now I'm gonna like be a little busy now as well. So I don't really have the time to, like edit any like music for the videos right now. And yeah. So, and I'm like, I don't want to run out of videos, and I know I should have done it earlier and stuff, but it's just like, I edited like so many videos, I felt like not too long ago, like maybe in April, I guess, and I thought I did so many, but then apparently not. So I thought that it was like, having enough for the summer, and then, like I saw now, just like randomly saw that, oh, I just have one left. So yeah, and I mean, there might be some other videos, and if I get the time to edit some more, I might post that too. But yeah, there might only be like one video a month for like July and August, and there might not be another video until like July. I'm of course gonna still post these like next up in Jorvik videos, but I don't know about like anything else. It doesn't seem like there are too many people like watching my videos anyway, so I don't think like that too many people will notice or care. But yeah. So yeah, so I'm gonna like try to make a game. I'm also like a little busy like not too long. I'm gonna be busy for a bit. So yeah. Yeah. So there might only be like, I mean, I've already posted a video, like on the 1st of June, so there's going to be at least 2 videos this month. Then might only be one for July and August. And then I'll see, what happens after that. But yeah, so I was thinking of, I'm thinking I'll just like start like try out like, the different like mechanics and stuff first and just maybe make like a little game first where I try out stuff and then like I'll make the like actual games. I have 3 ideas. So yeah. But yeah, so I was thinking of like starting with just checking out like what is possible to do and everything, and then like, so yeah, that's gonna take so much time and effort. So it's like, I'm still gonna like do, of course, post these like next up in your like videos. So that's coming out each month anyways, but just yeah, and I don't know how long it takes to make a game, or yeah. So. Yeah, but I'll just like see what I'll do. And I also wanted to just at the end give you some codes that I just noticed. I mean, you can find like all of the codes here and stuff, but I noticed 2 new ones that I hadn't used. So that is Blizzard, Blizzard, and Team Carrots, TEAMCARROTS. So, and for the Blizzard, you get Celebrity Ski Trip Brittle and Saddle. And for the carrots, like the Team Carrots, you get purple carrots for Saddle Black Pets. Which, I mean, purple carrots? That's definitely something, but yeah. So that's just like the ones I noticed, and they worked at least, I think I did it yesterday or the day before or something, so yeah. They should probably still be working when this video comes out, so cute video there on the side. But oh well. So yeah, and if you want to find this code, you can just go to your wikipedia.fandom.com. I'm not going to spell that out, but that's just like, Jorvik and then pedia. So it's like, yeah. And they have like different languages. I think you maybe need to go to the first page, but oh well. Yeah. So if you just, go to this here, then you can find also like the Swedish version, the Russian version, the German version, and the Polish version. And like this is the English version, the one I'm on right now. You can also just like do it here. So, yeah. And then for redeem codes is like this one at the end, no matter the language. But yeah, so that's for the codes. And here they updated it like, I don't know how often they update, but they update every now and then. So they will be like adding in codes later and stuff. And these are the expired ones that like, yeah, they don't work anymore. So yeah, I don't know how often they update, but like they update every now and then. Maybe it says something about it here or something. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so here you can find all of the active and also, expired codes, but who cares for the expired ones? You can't use them anymore. Yeah. And I mean, like, of course, it might be like, so that they don't update every single day. So some of the codes could, like, not work anymore. Um, so it's possible that, like, some may not work anymore, even though they're, like, not put on the expired list anymore. But just, like, try them out and see if they work. And yeah, typically the ones at the top are the newest ones. So, so it's like easy to figure out. It is like, also put into like, so that's like this is horse tack, this is clothes, yeah. And I typically will use this page to like find codes. I've done it before as well, and yeah, and you can like find some codes sometimes on Star Symbol's Insta page, um, but sometimes it's just gonna be like, but then you need to like, like go through their, is that a snake? Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Oh no, I think it is the toad or something. Yeah, so like, here you would have to go through the post and see, okay, can I find a code or something? So it can be a little hard sometimes to find. And sometimes the codes aren't even posted here, so I think a little unsure, but yeah. So at least, like on the your Wikipedia, it's super easy to find codes and stuff, so yeah. Um, but anyways, I wanted to go through this one for a bit because, like, um, yeah, it says, like that. We welcome and celebrate all kinds of people, everyone. Um, so yeah, and like there are some people being like, in a kids game, really? And it's just like, yeah, Pride is for everyone. No, really, every single one. Because, like Pride is just celebrating that it's okay to be you. Um, and it's okay for children also to be themselves. So, so yeah, I liked so many of these, like, yeah, and then we have, some people saying it's wrong, that's why. It's sad to see a kids game saying that LGBT or LBGQ, as they write, is okay. I mean, you could at least get the, like, word, like, or acronym, is it? I don't know. You could at least get the letters correct, though, like, but yeah. But I mean, like, why they're including it in a kids game to show that, well, this is okay, and we think so too. So, yeah. And there's nothing wrong about being yourself, um, love, etc., so. And like the thing is that we need pride because of people like this saying that it's not okay to be you. That's the reason we need pride. So when, like, or if one day everyone would just be like, yeah, you can be who you are, no problem, like, and nobody would have a problem with, being queer or, really anything, for that matter, we wouldn't need pride. But until there is still people like, but like, until there is, no longer people who doesn't think that there's something wrong about it, we're gonna still need pride. So, not that I think there's ever gonna be, a time where everyone is like, okay, and yeah, and everyone is just like, yeah, you can be you and no problem. So we're probably forever gonna need it. Yeah. And just know that like hate is always on the wrong side of history. That is, that's something that the past has clearly shown us. Um, so yeah, just like look at history, like the Nazis, for example. Yeah, most people agreed that, they did horrible things and that they weren't the best people. And they were driven mostly by hate. So yeah, because no, you don't do such things to people you love. So yeah, and it's just like, literally everything bad about history is fueled by hate. So yeah, and that's in the past. So so hate is or hate should be a thing of the past. Unfortunately, it's not yet just a thing of the past, but yeah, I mean, like, the haters are a minority, and they need to, like, now be louder than they were before because, like, they're dying, they're a dying kind. So it's just like it does maybe seem like there's a lot more haters these days, but it's just that they've gotten louder because they've gotten, like, there's fewer now than before. So it's just like they need to just, like, be louder to, be seen and heard because there's not that many left. So yeah, haters are a dying kind. That hopefully one day will be gone because there's nothing good about hate. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with love. There is something wrong with hate. So, and you saying that is the opposite, it's just like that makes no sense. Why would there be anything wrong with being yourself and love? Like, I mean, history has shown us that hate is what's wrong, not love. So, I mean, I guess get on with the world. So, yeah. I agree, enough of woke. I love how these people just, like, use things and they don't understand what it means, like, very clearly. Because if you understood what woke meant, yeah, you wouldn't be making this comment. Because woke is just being, like, accepting and loving. But seriously, it's just, waking up and seeing that hate is bad, pretty much. So, I mean, like, yeah, being woke just means that you're accepting and not hateful. Um, it's a good thing. Indoctrination. There is no, I mean, there is indoctrination, but that is, like hateful people trying to make other people hateful or, align with their personal beliefs instead of just letting people be who they are. Of the kids already without a kid's horse game pushing it. I'm sorry, but there is no woke indoctrination. People are not like, trying to recruit you into like some woke, I don't know, wokeness. I mean, it's literally just people being more accepting than before because, people are realizing then that not being accepting sucks. And just like that, kindness is good. People are finally realizing that love and kindness is a good thing. Wow. I know, crazy, right? And I love how people are just like, kind of like making fun at this and stuff, and like, and it's just so many people also go like, I knew that I was queer as a kid, so, and it's just like, yeah, people would like to, be able to see people like them, and that, like it's okay to be you. And I mean, literally every single queer person and other things too that are like, minorities, pretty much all of them say that, yeah, I'd love some representation of, people like me. And even like, people that are not minorities are saying that, like, yeah, I'd love some representation of people like me when I was younger. So that, like, it's like, so that I would know that it's actually possible for me to be this, like, so that's like, it's possible for me to thrive and be happy. It's possible for me to, have a good life, to be, a professional sports player or whatnot. So yeah. So it's just like, so many people would, like wish that they could see people just like them, growing up and, like as and have those as their role models and, see that it's actually possible for someone like me to be whatever the heck it is, like just maybe sometimes just be happy, make it past 22, I don't know. It's just like seeing that, like you can actually become 90 years old and be, I don't know, autistic, for example. Like it's just, or queer, or whatever the heck it is, like just seeing that it's possible to live, that's so important to be able to see that, it's actually possible for me to make it past, 18, I don't know, you know, or that it's possible for me to be able to have my dream career. So yeah, it's so important with representation of, differences, to see that, okay, it's actually possible to be me and live and have a good life, you know? Because if you are always only experiencing and exposed to people that are not like you, you're gonna feel like, okay, I'm the other one out. There might be something wrong with me. Um, I don't fit in. And maybe also like, this is not possible for people like me. And I mean, growing up as a queer autistic even, there would be like, well, mostly autistic for this though, but yeah, still. Well, queer too, actually, because it was like, there was literally no representation that I was exposed to from either of those. And yeah, I was like, I think it was in seventh grade that I learned that it's actually possible to be gay. And the funny thing is that my cousin is gay, so like, yeah. And he wasn't like open to me, kind of. Like, I guess it is mostly just like, that it was never like set like spelled out like that he's gay or whatnot, but yeah. But yeah, it's just like, and I didn't know about like any other queer identities until like much later on. So like, the other sexualities, being trans. So that was like eighth grade, etc., and like further into the moon. Wow. And also like, being autistic, I didn't know about that until I think ninth grade. So it's like, yeah. Going on for so many years thinking that there's something wrong with me because I'm autistic and, different from the majority and different from, like, pretty much everyone around me. Yeah, that really destroys a kid, because you're going around just being like, I'm different, so there must be something wrong because I don't see anyone else being like this. So, like, the issue is me because I'm the one who's different. Um, And just like coming to terms with that, there's nothing wrong with me just because I'm not like everyone else. Like, that's not wrong. Different doesn't mean wrong. And also that, like, most of the struggles with actually, like, being autistic is coming from, like, the outside and not the inside. So, like, it's more so just like that the society isn't, like, made for autistic people and it's not, like, made to fit autistic people and autistic struggles. So it's like, society isn't just, it's just not made for me. And that is not my fault, because, I wasn't the one to make society the way it is. It's, other people who did that. And I'm just existing and being me. And if, society doesn't fit me because someone didn't think that I existed or what the heck not happened, then I mean, that's not on me. Because I never did anything wrong. I just exist. That's all I do. So, yeah, I'm just like coming to terms that, like with that, there's nothing wrong with me. Um, that's just like, being different isn't wrong, because we're all different. We're not all the same. So, yeah, so it's just like there's been so much pain in my past from, thinking that there's something wrong with me when, it's just, I just don't quite fit in because, this world wasn't made for me. It was made for people with different struggles, and I guess they just, didn't take into account that people could have other struggles than them or whatnot. So, yeah. Um, and there are so many people who will suffer because, like, systems are just, like, made to, like, just go against them. And there are so many people that are autistic that, like, are not able to get jobs because, like, they get just, like, kind of, like, ruined by society, like, so early on. So there's so many autistic people that if they would have gotten, like, the accommodations that they would have needed earlier on in life, they could have probably, like, had a job and had, like, a life just like people who are not autistic. But it's just like, because you didn't get the because you didn't get what you needed um, when you needed it, then it's just like kind of like it's just too late, at the point where yeah. So it's just like if people just could get whatever they needed when they need it, life could have been so much better. And like it's just like, why would anyone be against that? Like why would you be against people being able to live their best life and thrive? So yeah, but yeah, so it's just like going from, like thinking that there's something wrong with me because I'm not like everyone else to, realizing that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just different than these people here. They're different to me. And it's people like that, like, just made the world and society. And, like, societal expectations are, based on how they function instead of how I function. So I just like breaking free from that, like okay, society is made to, fit those people. So it not fitting me is, it's okay. It wasn't made to fit me in the first place, so it's not going to fit me. And, that's okay. Because it's like if society had been made to fit me instead of those other people, they would have been in my situation. And sure, some people, like where the world was made to fit you, are going to complain that, like, oh, why can't you just do this or that? That's, like what you should do, in my opinion. But it's just like, that's your opinion. Your opinion is that I should be just like you. But I'm sorry, I'm never going to be you. I'm always going to be me. So, breaking free. Huh, I mean, it's just so great to just, like, break free from, like, sure, you have certain expectations and you want me to be just like you, but it's never gonna happen. And deal with it, I guess. So yeah, and it's just like I understand that, like when the entire world has been, like made just like to fit you perfectly, you take that for granted, and it's just like, yeah, and like for example, straight cis people taking, like the fact that they actually have like, pride every single day. They have, like everything good every single day of every single year of their life, like they don't need pride because they already have all of the best things in the world, like, mm-hmm. Like, nobody hates you for being straight and cis. Um, but plenty of people are gonna hate you if you're not. One or the other, or both for that matter. So, So it's just like, yeah. And I've seen so many people also, like, for example, when it comes to, like trans stuff, like, because that's like, I guess where the hate is focused these days. Other things too, but like, that's like for the most part what I see, because I follow like a lot of queer people and stuff, and some of them are trans, and then they get hate for being just, yeah, just being trans and existing, and it's just, yeah, I don't get how you can hate someone for simply just existing. Like, I mean, of course, hate is a bad thing regardless, and I don't think that one should hate, but I can understand it if you hate someone who's done something horrible, but just hating someone because they exist and you don't like that they exist or who they are, I don't get that. Like, that makes no sense to me. But anyways, so, like, I see a lot of this, like, hate against trans people. Others too, but I guess that's, like, for the most part what I see, because, like, that's where things are these days. And it's just like, people are saying that, like, oh, if trans women can't use the women's restrooms, then they can still use the restrooms, but just the men's. And I've responded to this with, yeah, when gay marriage was illegal, gay people could still get married, just, not to the one they loved. Which, is what you're arguing, Like, you're saying that, yeah, you can technically still use the bathroom, just, not really. And also, it's just like, yeah, a woman using the men's restroom, like, she should be fine with that. Because I think that's a good solution. Gay people should be okay with, being able to marry, like, someone they don't love, because that's how I want it to be. So it's just like, and it's just like, straight people have the privilege, like, to be able to marry the person they love, the person they want to marry. And when gay marriage was illegal, gay people didn't have that same privilege. So it's just like, you're able to marry the one that you love, the one that you want to marry, and these other people are not able to marry the one that they want to, or, yeah, yeah, really. So, like, that's the difference. It's not that, oh, they can't get married, because, they could get married. It just would be to, not the one they want to get married to. So, yeah, so it's just like, yeah, technically trans women could use the restroom, but I mean, like, you could also use this woman over there. You could also use the men's restroom if you, like, I mean, yeah, there's nothing really stopping you. And not that there's anything stopping people from using any restrooms, because there's not like, it's not like that the door just won't open if you're not supposed to be in there, what the heck not, like, there is literally nothing stopping you. You could just walk right in, no matter who the heck you are. So, but like, yeah, like, so I mean, cis women can also use the men's restroom, it's just they don't want to. And that's the thing here, like, that women don't want to go into the men's restroom. That goes for all kind of women, trans women, cis women. So it's just like, yeah, sure, they can, like, use the men's room, but, no woman wants to do that, for the most part, anyway. Some don't really care, but I mean, I feel like if women, like, had a choice, they would pick the women's. Like, I mean, maybe, like, if there's, like, a too long line, they will just go into the men's, or, mm-hmm. But, like, if there was no line, pretty sure they would pick the women's, if they had the choice, where they could, like, hmm no one in either. You could just walk right in wherever you want. Yeah. So it's just like, So it's just like, you have the right to use the restroom that you want to use. Like, the one of your choice. And you try to take that privilege away from some other people because you hate those other people. Which, honestly, that's what it is. So it's just like, yeah. And people, pretending as if, oh, trans people want special privileges. That I saw this thing, like, the other day where there was someone saying that, like, trans people want to, like, have their preferred pronoun respected and have people use their preferred pronoun, their preferred name, be able to use like their preferred bathroom, um, be on their preferred sports team, and like people are acting as if these are actual privileges, and that it's not like cis people actually get to do these things too, like. Because it's just like, if you call a cis person the wrong pronoun, they're gonna like go ballistic with you. Some of them, anyways. So yeah, so it's just like, you already have the privilege of literally everyone on the planet calling you by your preferred pronoun, by your preferred name. You're able to, use your preferred bathroom, be on your preferred sports team, like you already have all of these privileges. And you're trying to take it away from other people because you hate those other people. Yeah, and people are pretending that it's trans people that, want special privileges and stuff, and special rights and whatnot. I'm sorry, honey, but it's the anti-trans people that want to have special rights um, for themselves and people like them, like, because they're literally saying that I should be the only one, and people like me. So, like, literally just like cis people should be the only ones to be able to, like, have the pronouns that they prefer, the name they prefer used about them, and should be able to use the bathroom that they prefer to use. Um, and like be on the sports team that they want to, like so should literally just cis people should be able to do what they want to, trans people should not be able to do anything at all. Lovely. And also someone was literally saying that trans women should not be able to use the women's restroom because then uh, Jews and Muslims, because I guess Jews also have this thing where like they shouldn't show their hair to men or something. Like with Muslims, like I've heard about it. Like that's you're supposed to wear a hijab and like not show your hair to men, besides from like your husband and I guess maybe other family members. A little unsure about exactly how the rules go and stuff. Um, but yeah, so it's like if there are trans women in these bathrooms, which there has always been, by the way, then these women can't comb their hair in a public restroom. Which is just like, the argument is some people shouldn't be able to use public restrooms for their intended use because then some people might not be able to comb their hair. Which, one, how many people actually would take off their hijab to comb their hair, or otherwise, like that hijab, to comb their hair in a public restroom? Like, I mean, how long are you planning to spend in a public restroom? And also, like, if you were gonna comb your hair, why couldn't you just do that, like, at home then? Before putting the hijab on? Like, it's just like, I would understand, like, maybe adjusting the hijab or something if it, like, came undone or something like that, but, like, 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 how long do you think people are gonna spend in there? First of all, and also second, like, there could be, like, some cis men just accidentally walking in there. Or, trans men, which apparently should be in the women's restroom. So it's just like, you were just saying that pretty much people shouldn't be able to comb their hair because men should be able to be in the women's restroom. That's like the argument here as well. And also like like I mean sure, there's some people that are not accepting of trans people. Um but I mean there are also plenty of people that are. So it's just like I mean I'm pretty sure I saw, like some Muslim woman be like, well, yeah, she's a trans woman, but she's a woman, so the rule says don't show your hair to men. She's a woman, so because trans women are women, so you can show your hair to women. That includes trans women. You just can't show it to trans men. It's just men. Yeah. And I don't know about non-binary people. Like, I think you could with non-binary people. I'm not sure though. So yeah, but also like I mean, how many people do you think are gonna like take off their headwear and comb their hair for like and also like if you're wearing something to cover your hair, would you really need to brush it? Like at this exact moment, like I understand at home that you would brush it to like don't not have it like be really like messy and stuff, but like couldn't you then do that at home? Like would you really need to like brush your hair in public if you're wearing something to cover it? Like I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna get into this. Like, but yeah, it's just, and also like it's just like so. Your argument is some people may not be able to brush their hair in a bathroom if some other people are allowed to use the bathroom as a bathroom. Then I would say that like okay, maybe those people should brush their hair at home then if they have such issues with brushing their hairs in public. Just saying, like, it's a bathroom. You're supposed to use it as a bathroom. Like, and sure, you can use it for other things too, but bathroom comes first. You know? But yeah, I don't know where I got into with this. Oh, but yeah, I guess people take, like their privileges for granted because, it's always been like that to them, so they don't notice that it's an actual privilege. And they don't notice that, like the things that they're trying to take away from other people are things that they already have and have always had. So it's like, yeah, so I guess it is that they, like just don't see that they already have these things, because they're just so used to it that they take you for granted. And there was like one of these like episodes of Grey's Anatomy where like what's his name, Levi? I don't know, glasses. What a nickname sticks better than the actual name of the character. Yeah, anyways, where like his uncle or something was dying, um, and I think it was uh, like the guy he loved or something, like the guy that the uncle loved or something. Sorry for spoilers. Should have probably said that first, but oh well. But yeah, he was like saying like, oh, you're taking this stuff for granted because like you're able to be openly queer and stuff and no problems, but like back in the day it was a lot harder because there would be more hateful people and less accepting people and less acceptance and I mean at some point it was even illegal in you know there still like I said in some places to this day. But yeah, so it's just like you take it for granted because it's been okay for so long for you and you've come to terms with that like and you've been accepted for it and stuff, but at some point people thought that they couldn't be accepted. So, like they would have to hide it because, it's like either you hide it and you live or you just don't, Kind of. So it's just like, even in the places where, it's like super accepted these days, and yes, you're still gonna find people that are not accepting, but the majority will be accepting. But even in those places, there was a time where there was barely any acceptance, and where, the majority didn't accept it. So, yeah, so, like, a lot of the times back in the day, gay people would, like, go into straight relationships and, have kids, and, like, just because, that's all they could do. It would be, like, either you get into a straight relationship or you don't get into a relationship at all. And like I said, yeah, they could get married, just not with the one they loved. They would have to either choose to marry someone that they weren't really into or not get married. So, and I mean, most people just don't want to be alone. So it's like, I guess, the thought process would be like, I'd rather get married to someone that I'm not really like, in love with. Like, you love them as a friend and stuff, but not like as a partner. So I'd rather, like marry my best friend than, just be alone forever. So yeah, and like a lot of people back in the day would have to hide who they really are because they wouldn't be accepted. And I mean, this goes for like being left-handed, even something like so silly like that. And also, like mental illnesses and other like neurological conditions such as autism, for example, like you would have to hide it. Like it would be like either you hide it or you might get, sent away to a mental institution or something similar. Maybe you'll get killed, like in the Second World War, anyone. Yeah, they would, kill a lot of autistic people. And like kind of like, high functioning autism, same lesson quotation marks, which is called Asperger's. Yeah, that actually comes from a Nazi called Asperger's. And like the history of that word is like literally that some autistic people were better at hiding that they were autistic, so they would be given the label Asperger's, and which was literally like a like stamp of like approval, kind of like we're not going to murder you because you're able to pretend that you're not autistic enough for us to be able to accept you and for us to not murder you. So yeah. Yeah. Um, so don't use Asperger's because that's like, and I actually got that diagnosis when I first got like diagnosed and stuff, and I didn't know anything about this and stuff. But yeah, like get involved with the actual community of something to learn something about it. That's probably just like my best advice. Like if you want to learn something about something, go to the actual community to learn from them because that's probably the best resource you have. Like, learn if you want to learn something about trans people, seek out trans people, in the trans community as like a general thing, and the autistic community as like a general thing because you have some people that are going to be like hateful in every single group. So if you just like go to a bunch of people and try to find maybe like a group of people and then a bunch of people, then you're more likely to find, accurate information and not just like, oh, I hate people like me, internalized hate. So yeah, so learning from people that are actually in the community, I would say is probably, one of the best resources you're gonna find because, like those are the people that actually, have lived experiences with this and who actually, knows what it's like. And to quote, think it is Lady Gaga, so it happens to you, you won't know how it feels. And like that's exactly, so you can't know for sure how it is until it happens to you. So therefore you would have to, like get your information from people who it has happened to get, the best information. So yeah, listen to those actual people instead of others, because those actual people know what it's like to be themselves. Nobody else can know what it's like to be you, you know? So, and there's so much misinformation, so much like ignorance out there, so much hate. So, like, go to those actual communities for, information, because if not, you might just find someone who is ignorant, misinformed, and possibly also hateful. And it's just like if you specifically search for something, you're probably going to find, like if you search for, is it wrong to be queer, for example, then you will probably find something that says, yes, it is. Because some people think it is. Like, I can't find the person. I think that's one, yeah. But, like if you just search for, queer, then you're going to find, what is it? Um, so, yeah. Uh, so, yeah, so, like, there was someone who was like, queer means odd. They literally looked up on Google, queer means odd. And they found that, yeah, it like, started out as queer meaning odd, and still you can still use that to mean it. But, queer these days isn't really used as odd. And also, the queer that is related to, LGBT plus just means, someone who isn't straight and cis at the same time. So, yeah. So it's just like, if you look for something, you'll probably find it. And if you look like really specifically, so I would say just don't do it specifically. Like, because the more specific you go, the more likely you are to find results that are, like more narrow. And if you just do like a more broader search, you're more likely to find like unbiased things. So, yeah. And of course, like if you're looking for a specific thing, like a specific study, for example, then yeah, look super specific. But it's like if you're just looking to find, like what trans means, like then just look up the word trans. You know, don't look up like trans and then something else after, because, or you could do trans meaning though, like, or trans means trans definition, for example. But like, don't look up like trans means being a human. I don't know. Just an example. Doesn't mean that. Like, because then you're gonna find maybe something saying that, yeah, trans meaning human. I don't know. Not that it does, so I don't think you would find that, but you get what I mean. Like, try being unbiased in your searching. So, like, and also don't try to, like, find things that already confirms what you believe. Like, just look up, like, for example, trans meaning, and then, okay, this is what trans means, and go to sources that are good, so sources where it's like not like just people can, like not like a blog, for example, because in a blog or a news article, for example, people can write whatever without it being true. So, like go to sources that are like, for example, like if you're looking up a medication and side effects, for example, go to, like a hospital site or something, or a pharmaceutical site. So yeah, because like that's more likely to be correct, because like that's going to be used probably by doctors and stuff, and if it is not correct, then yeah, that could be fatal, I guess, in some cases. So yeah, so look up like sites that have something to do with it, like and that should be correct, because if not, it's going to be really bad. So, for example, if you're looking for what a word means, go to a dictionary, because dictionaries are literally, this is what words mean. So, yeah, don't just like go to random blogs to, find information and stuff, because in a blog, people can write whatever the heck, and it doesn't need to be true at all. Like, they can literally write that, like, the earth doesn't exist, like, so, oh my gosh, two people love each other, tragedy. Yeah, I mean, some people pretend as if it is. You know the news, did you know that gay and lesbian pride was a thing back in ancient Greece? I mean, I don't know about like what you mean by gay and lesbian pride, like the pride parade, or just like people being gay and lesbian, because queer people have always existed. Yes, at sometimes people might have had to hide that they were queer, but queer people have always existed. And you can like, just look up, queer people in history and you will find. So yeah, a word history, queer history, or what, like, well, you should probably look for queer people history, like in history and stuff, because if not, you might get, just like the word queer and the history of that. And that doesn't give you, like queer people. So, but yeah, so queer people have always existed. Um, so yeah, and there might have not like been words, like the word gay might have not existed back then, like so that the person wouldn't have said yes, I'm gay or something, but they might have been in a gay relationship, for example, or something like that. So it might be a little hard to find because in some cases, like people would have to hide it because it wasn't accepted. But in other cases, it might have just been like, the word that we know it as today might have not existed. So it's like, this person was very clearly trans, but it's just the word trans didn't exist yet, or didn't, like wasn't used with gender yet or something, like so. So the concept of it, did exist. It's just maybe not like the word that we use today for this concept existed. So, like maybe they called it like something else instead, or maybe they didn't have a word for it. So goes with that. And also, yeah, I wanted to go through this one with this person saying, "You'll certainly don't celebrate all religions since you killed Christmas." And it's just like them not celebrating one specific religion's holidays doesn't mean that they don't celebrate all religions, because taking away this like specific celebration for this one religion is actually being more inclusive, because like that is just being like, well, some people don't celebrate Christmas. And they do have, like a celebration around Christmas, and you can, of course, call it Christmas if you'd like to, but it's just like Star Stable chooses to not call it Christmas because it's more inclusive to not call it Christmas because, like some people don't celebrate Christmas, and that is a religious holiday, so and not everyone, is a part of that religion. So it's like, and I feel like, like people would complain if we were like celebrating other religions' holidays, um, like that. That it would be, like exactly this, like, oh, you're not celebrating Christianity because we celebrate like Ramadan, for example, like I don't know if that's a celebration. I guess Eid is a celebration. Don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry if I did it wrong. But yeah, like I feel like the same kind of people that complain that oh we don't have Christmas in the game anymore, would be like complaining if we celebrated one like a holiday from another religion, for example. Um, so yeah, like that it would be like oh you're not celebrating my religious holiday, so but you're celebrating this other one. And it's kind of like that just in reverse, that it's like we're not celebrating like nobody mentioned, nobody forgotten. Um, that's like I guess that's more maybe a Norwegian thing of like, like sometimes when people get asked like, oh, who are your best friends, and they go like, I'm not gonna mention anyone because I don't want to forget anyone, so I'm just gonna, yeah. But I mean, like, it's just like there's never been any other religious celebrations in the game. Like, we've never celebrated anything relating to like um, Jewish. No, it's not called that. But yeah, we never celebrate any of the Jews' religious holidays or um, any of Islam's holidays or any other religions for that matter. So yeah. So it's just like, we've never celebrated any of the other religious holidays. And I think that Star Stable, like instead of having, like every single holiday from every single religion, they just, made it so that there were none. Um, so yeah. And like Halloween isn't a religious holiday. I don't even know what Halloween comes from. So yeah, but it's certainly not religious in any way. Pride isn't religious in any way. Um, and then we have like some summer festivals, spring festivals, and then we have just a winter festival. So, and it's supposed to just be, like celebrations that anyone can be a part of, which is what Pride is. Like, you can't join no matter who or what you are. So yeah, same with like, Halloween, anyone can celebrate Halloween. And sure, everyone can celebrate, Christmas, but it's just like, Christmas is for one specific religion, and people that aren't a part of that religion, and, specifically the ones being a part of another religion, typically are not going to celebrate it. So it's just like taking away or just changing the name really and making some minor changes to this one holiday to, like, is actually more inclusive. So, yeah. So less inclusive is actually more inclusive because then you also include the ones that don't celebrate Christmas. And I mean, honestly, for me, I do celebrate Christmas, but I only really do it because my parents and my like the other my like yeah my family celebrate Christmas. So if my family didn't celebrate Christmas, neither would I. So it's just like I don't really have like a kind of like relationship to Christmas, and it's not really doesn't mean anything to me. So for me, it's just neutral. And I wouldn't really care much if they called it Christmas or something else, because it doesn't mean anything for me. But, for some people, Christmas might be a negative thing. Maybe because they're a part of another religion and they feel like overlooked because it's like, well, I don't celebrate Christmas. I maybe celebrate something else or don't celebrate anything at this time of the year or something. And for some people, they might have even negative, like be like negative about Christmas and not like Christmas. And yeah, so it's just like, we've never had any other religious holidays in the game. Um, so like, I feel like, either you should do every single one or you should do none. Because that's what fairness is, like either every single one or none of them. And Sir Sable chose none, which I think is probably like the best one because if not, it would be like, and now there's gonna be a holiday. Yeah, and also some people might, like be unhappy if we, like have celebrations that they partake in, and feel like, oh, but I don't celebrate this, so I'm gonna create the biggest roar. And also someone here says celebrating all religions isn't including every single religious holiday for all religions. It's making holidays themed around about it, but not specifically about it, so everyone can celebrate. Yeah, and it's like making it so that it's like a winter holiday to celebrate all of the winter, like celebrations that there might be. Some, like might celebrate the, pagan winter solace or whatever it's called. I think Hanukkah is like a Jewish holiday, and that's like um, around winter, like the winter holiday too. So yeah, um, so it's just like it's just like kind of like putting it as like more holidays than one into one, and then just not really calling it a specific one. Um, so yeah, which I think is like a really good idea because then you get to like use some elements from this, some elements from that, and yeah. Um, so yeah, yeah. Then why did they stop doing Easter then, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, guess people can't enjoy chocolate eggs and bunnies except Christians. And of course, people can, like enjoy chocolate eggs and bunnies and stuff, and even Easter without being Christian, but it's just like Easter is a Christian holiday. Um, so yeah, and someone who isn't a Christian, but part of another religion, especially I would say, and even some people that just aren't part of any religion might not celebrate, and yeah, um, and it's just like people want to be able to play Star Stable and enjoy the game, without like having to be like, oh, this is going to be something religious or something, like. And some people might, not be able to celebrate holidays of other religions. Like, I don't know if that was the case or whatever it was, but like when I was in school, we would have like Christmas things where it would be like kind of like mandatory to go to church for Christmas. And some people then would like be staying behind and doing like, I don't know, math or whatnot. Whew, poor kids. I don't like math. Okay. For the ones that do, I mean, great, but yeah, I just don't. Um, but yeah, and then like you would have to have your parents like sign off on that. Like oh, this person's not gonna go to church; they're gonna just stay in the classroom and do some math instead. All the others, like just hang out and chill. And it's just like, I mean, so unfair. Like, I would love to just rather just stay in the classroom and chill. Um, because Christmas has never meant anything to me besides from family celebrating. Me being like, yes, I'm celebrating too, but it doesn't mean anything to me. So it's just like if I could have just stayed in the classroom, without, like having to do anything, like math or anything. And also, especially if my friends were also, like staying with me, staying back with me, yeah, I would be going. So I was only really going because my friends were going, and I didn't want to have to do math. Like, if I can choose to not do anything or do math, I'm gonna do nothing. Sorry. But yeah, like, I mean, so it's just like, it doesn't mean anything for me. So to me, it's kind of neutral. But, for someone who it isn't neutral, like maybe they had something bad happen that, like around Christmas, and therefore, like they see Christmas as something bad. Yeah, we want to force them into like celebrating something that they don't like or. Mhm. And of course, people can, like enjoy chocolate and bunnies, like in chocolate and bunnies, like exists outside of Easter too, like so yeah. Um But I mean, like, why are you so obsessed with, calling it Easter and Christmas and, having it be Christian? Like, I mean, I understand that you're probably a Christian and that's why you want, everyone else to, be forced to celebrate your holidays. But I mean, like, that's your holidays, not everyone's holidays. So it's okay that you celebrate those and, you can call it Easter or Christmas if you like to, but it's just other people shouldn't be forced to celebrate or call it that if they don't want to. And that's kind of the point, I guess, that, like, hmm like, you should be able to do what you want to, but so should everyone else. So people shouldn't be, like, forced to celebrate your holidays and, yeah. um, and I mean, like, there's a reason why they don't call it Pride, but the Rainbow Festival instead, because it's supposed to be like, Pride, but like Star Stable's version of Pride, I guess. So yeah, so it's supposed to be like a Norwegian Pride, kind of. Um, yeah, and a Norwegian Christmas, pretty much, and all the other celebrations that go around um, that part of the year. So they don't call it Pride because they're trying to be more inclusive and not, even if you don't celebrate this, then you can be a part of it. And yes, they still call it Halloween, but Halloween, like, it doesn't have any ties to any, like, specific thing. I'm sure some people might not celebrate Halloween in real life and stuff, and then might not celebrate it on Star Stable, but there's nothing, really tied to Halloween. It's just dressing up, and I guess, like, the closest thing I can think of that might be a little tied to Halloween is, like, de los Muertos, is it? I think so, like the Day of the Dead, which is like a Spanish Mexican thing where they, like, kind of like celebrate the dead and remember the dead and stuff. Um, that's sort of like easiest way I can explain it of like what I remember it as. So, but yeah, but that's just like celebrating, like that. I don't know. It's getting darker. It's getting darker, and it's okay. So yeah, and like you get to dress up and like be who you want to be for a bit. I don't know. But yeah, like they all have almost no holidays anyways, or where's Ramadan in SSO? That was for the exact opposite reason. It's cause of your Christian whining. The SSO has had to edit the paganic holidays drastically, like Yule, Easter, and Midsummer, cause you all just can't stand anything but Christian games, and still refuse to leave the ones with pagan origin stuff, while constantly demanding equality for Christians or whatever. Just leave kids' games alone, thanks. And I mean, like, I kind of agree, because, like, Yule, I don't know about Easter, but I guess Midsummer might be pagan. That would make sense, anyways. I don't know about Easter being pagan. Is it, like, originally? I know that Yule, or what, is typically called Christmas, is actually, like, or Winter Solace, as what it is they're celebrating for, like, Yule. Um, that is pagan. So, like, Christians actually stole Christmas from pagans. Um, no, seriously. So Christmas isn't actually a Christian holiday, or yeah, of course now it is, but it started out as being a pagan holiday. Um, so I guess Midsummer, like, that makes sense for it to be pagan as well. Um, Easter, I didn't actually know was pagan. Um, Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay, so I guess. Hmm. Yeah, so it's like Christians stole Easter as well from the pagans. I mean, it wasn't enough, like, apparently, to, like, murder all of the ones that didn't want to, like, um, turn into Christians. They had to steal stuff from them, too. Oh my gosh. Whew. So, yeah, so I guess makes sense for Midsummer to be pagan, and that's, I guess, Christians didn't want that. No, we're not going to steal your Midsummer because that's weird. But we're going to steal your Easter and your Yule. Lovely. Hmm, damn. I didn't even know that. Thank you, human, for letting me know. Um, and I guess maybe Midsummer was taken over by Christians too. I don't know. I haven't. Well, I guess it probably was actually because there is a celebration in Norway that is like I guess it's not like really a midsummer celebration. But it's like Sankthans. I don't know how to do this in English. But yeah, it's like where we like make a fire and I don't know what else we do. But maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, like one would think that midsummer is in the middle of the summer, but I don't think it is. So I guess like it was maybe in the middle of the summer, then Christians took it and changed it. I don't know. So I guess it started out as paganic, and then people were like, "Oh, but I want it to be Christian," and then they turned it like started saying, Christianized it more. Wow, so this is literally what happened in the real world. That like started out as pagan, and then people were like, "Yeah, but I want this to be Christian." It got Christianized, and then Cersei were like, "You know what? No." Maybe it's actually more pagan now. Because I mean, like we have the Yule goats, and we did have a midsummer, but I think that was like taken away a bit. But we do have like summer celebrations, so I guess I don't know. Easter was taken away. But yeah, maybe it's like they tried to make it a little bit more pagan. I don't know. Or maybe they just were like, you know what? People were complaining that it was really pagan, so we're just gonna make it no religion. Huh. Yeah, and this was like, hard to make games, so. Wasn't that the one I just looked at? Yeah, it was. Wait. Actually, it's Jurassic June. This month is dedicated to the history of dinosaurs and how they lived. Pride Month is cancelled forever. Sorry, I don't think you can ever cancel Pride Month until it's no longer needed, anyways. Um, but oh well. But I think it's probably a joke, though, so yeah. I mean, that's kind of like something, though. Like, inclusive of all genders only has characters of one gender that you can play as. But I mean, like, to me, it's not really that big of a problem. That you can't, like, play as. But I wish that there would be, like, a flat chest thing, like, either, like, a shirt that you can put on to make your chest flat or something, or just that you can, like, customize your body type to make your chest flat, because that's really my biggest problem, and then maybe pronouns. So, if you could pick your pronouns and then also, like, maybe have something to, like, make there be like a flat chest. That's really all I need. I don't need it to be like a specifically like male character or whatnot. And maybe also more like short hairstyle, so like, maybe like, something that could make it seem more masculine and then, or just like gender neutral or something, but still like just a little more like things that could make it more masculine, more neutral, whatnot. That's really all I care for. That would be something. And I mean, like, yeah, I think it was definitely like a joke. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that everyone would just say they're gay if you could actually get something for it, even if they're not. Like, oh, you have to prove that you're actually gay or queer, though. But yeah, you have to prove your queerness to be able to. I know this is probably gonna be like 2 hours. I wish they would bring back Fashion Week because that was really fun. Um, yeah. What is not necessary? Pride Month. Anyway, maybe they meant something else. Pride Month is still needed. And honestly, just like one comment saying that there's something wrong with being queer, Pride Month is needed. And we already saw one, so. But yeah, I think this is gonna be it, really, because this is a really long video now, so sorry. But I will be like, of course, like, still be posting the next up in Jorvik videos. But I don't know if there's gonna be anything else for the rest of the summer, so sorry, but yeah. I might post like some sneak peeks of the games or something, um, when I get to somewhere. So maybe that comes out around the summer. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and watch my other videos, because it helps me being able to like keep on doing YouTube. And yeah, I'd really love to be able to keep on doing YouTube. So thanks to everyone who helps. I hope to see you later. Stay crazy.